Hello? Ron.
Hello? Yep, I'm working. Oh, thank God.
I know he was on vacation. I don't know if he came back.
Boston Monday night.
Okay, well, we all get seated. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Len, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Len, thank you very much.
Okay. Scott is here. Oh, my God.
Okay, to start us off this evening, Wendy, would you read the proclamation, please?
Where's my thing? There it is. It says tentative on it.
Whereas our senior,
Here, you want mine?
okay. Whereas our senior citizens deserve every effort due them by reason of their age and service to our community, state, and nation. And whereas they are the forefathers of this generation and past generations. Now, therefore, I, Frederick Pizzuto, Supervisor of the Town of Lloyd, Ulster County, New York, do hereby proclaim August 2021 as Senior Citizen Month in the Town of Lloyd and ask all citizens to give them the honor they justly deserve. The annual Senior Citizen Breakfast will be on Tuesday, August 31st, from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Bob Shepherd Highland Landing Park.
Wendy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving forward, Sean, we're still in an open public hearing on Cablevision.
My understanding, it's open, so you're going to continue the public hearing on the Cablevision Altice contract.
So seeing that, is there anybody in the public that would like to speak to Cablevision here this evening? Seeing none, we're going to have a representative talk to us.
John, did you want to say a few words?
Please. Oh, look at that.
So my name is John Delahan from Cablevision Altice Optimum. We have a few different names. And the reason for this agreement is to renew our existing franchise agreement. This agreement is based on the previous agreement approved by the board and the PSC in 2009. They expired in January of 2020, but we are on temporary operating authority until it is approved. The franchise is for a term of 10 years and becomes effective upon confirmation by the Public Service Commission. This franchise governs video service only. The other services are unregulated by the Federal Communications Commission. The service area does include the entire town. Our hybrid fiber system is completely built through the area with no construction required at this time. Agreement, and I will caveat that and say, just for everyone's purpose, we are building out a fully fiber network right now. So it's a 5-year plan. We got delayed last year because of the pandemic, but we are ramping up now, and that means we're going to have 10 gigs to everyone's house by the time it's complete. So we're working through, we have fiber in our main corridors. We're going down to every single home.
Can you get a little closer to the microphone?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep. The agreement provides for free cable service at 12 specified municipal buildings, public safety buildings, schools, and libraries throughout the town, as well as a free internet service to one municipal building. We also are giving a PEG grant of monies for public education and government access, and that is to be used for capital funds to help the town improve its communications. The agreement provides for a franchise fee of 5% gross revenue, which goes to the town, and that is the cap of the Federal Service Commission, so we can not go any higher than 5%. And I can take any other questions at this time. I will say I know there's been a lot of discussion over the last year or so of the pandemic and also because of the storm-related issues that we happened last summer with customer service and other things. But we are making significant investments in those fronts. And the PSC is actually stepped in.
Mark, we have to say socially distanced. Just remember that, please. That's why as people go out, maybe they'll be able to sit down. I apologize for the seating, but as the numbers have rolled back in Ulster County, we've taken a step back with our meetings again. We're masked and staying socially distant. So as soon as there becomes a little room, we'd be glad to have you sit. Thank you. I'd rather not. I'm sorry, John.
So I was just saying that we have commitments we had to make to the Public Service Commission, not just us, but all utilities after the aftermath of the superstorm last summer, which are a rolling basis on a couple of years, but it is in the neighborhood of our own personal investment is over $70 million that we have to put into storm preparedness and customer service. So I just want to make that be known. We have milestones we actually have to reach with the PSC and make sure we're on track. So we heard our customers on that front, and we're doing our best to build on that. And that's what I have for tonight. If there's any questions.
We've had lots of discussion about this. It's been on the agenda. We've been open for public comment. Does anybody have any questions for John? John, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion on the resolution.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Hang on a second.
Well, we got to close the public hearing.
Yeah, you have to close the public hearing before you vote, right?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One opposed. On the resolution, is there a motion?
Motion.
This
there a
is
sec-
a resolution to approve the contract.
Correct.
Authorize
Yes.
supervisor to sign.
Correct. I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One no. 3-1. Thank you. Yes, that's correct. Town board reports. I'm going to jump down to Glenn. Anything on EDC?
No. Charles, what do you call it?
Sorry?
Charles has been going to the meetings. Charles Glasner.
Charles usually talks
I don't have anything on that.
Okay. Well, Lynn, thanks. On Fire District, just to let everybody know, we now have a new contract that we're looking at between the Town of Lloyd Police Department and the Fire District. In the next couple of days, we're going to have an internal meeting to discuss the contract and then start to move it forward. I've put it out to the council members, and we hope to have some resolve on that soon going forward. Len, I'll go down to Highland Landing.
Pardon?
Highland Landing.
Okay. The contractor is trying to secure the water pipe now to get the water and sewer, because the pipes are underneath the railroad tracks, so to get the water and sewer to the building. But he's having a tough time because there's so much pressure down there on getting the pipe that they need. So he's trying to secure that. He's hoping that maybe something can happen by the end of the month. Other than that, the rock that's going to be dedicated to Bob Shepherd, the plaque is in manufacturing. The sidewalks going around that rock have been poured. I'm trying to get all of those plaques off of the bulkhead, and we're going to put them on each side of the rock on the side of the building. That's the plan for that. The dedication to Bob Shepherd will be made on October 13th. I'm pretty sure it's 13th. So actually, everybody, if you could mark the calendar, and we'd like to get as many people there for that dedication as possible. The man deserved it. Other than that, we're going to have to start cleaning the building itself out, because we're going to have to start working on the inside of the building now. So that's about it for the park at the moment.
Anything on, good, Len, thank you very much. Anything on lights that's new?
Bragg is working on getting a lift so he can fix the 6 street lights that are out on up on Bridgeview.
Yep.
We went around and around with Central Hudson for a long time. It's sort of a screwed up thing, but evidently the lights belong to us now. So I believe he's away on vacation. I don't know if his man is going to do it, but I've been on him as much as I can, so we have to fix those 6 lights.
Well, push comes to shove, we have Peter.
Pardon?
We always have Peter. Len, thank you very much. Jim, would you have something on police?
Just a real quick update. Monday, we had a major drug arrest at Holland Motel. This is the third one we've had in our town since January. 3 people were arrested Monday. There's a large amount of narcotics and a large amount of money seized at the hotel. 1 bad guy's in jail, 2 are back on the streets again. There's a wonderful jail reform. I'll have more information on who they are and how much money was seized, how much drugs were seized at the next town board meeting. But I just want to update the town board that this is the third one we've had now since January, since we rejoined Urgent in our town.
Wow.
So was probably one of the big ones we've had in a few years.
That seems to be a good move.
And I just walked into an overdose at the Holland Motel 5 minutes before we got here. Our guy saved another one, 4 doses this time, Narcan. And unfortunately, Narcan is no longer available to us. It's wiped out, so we have to go out of county to get it probably. So each car contains a packet of Narcan, which has 2 vials. We replenish those as they're used, and we usually keep about a 20 supply, and we're out. So
Wow.
that just shows you how things are upticking in the community and across our state. So anybody have any questions?
You know our sentiments. Just keep up the good work.
Yep. Thank you.
Chief, thank you very much.
Are you freezing?
Hair off.
Hair off what?
He's never freezing. I know, I freeze, you freeze.
Just hit the low button. No, not the slidey thing, just the low button.
It's on low.
Ruh-roh.
It's on low. Okay. Thanks, Lynn. Thanks, Mike. Lynn, anything to add on, I'm sorry, Peter on rail trail? Nope, okay. Len, anything on water and sewer from your committee?
Our meeting, Falcon Ridge was going to come in, but they didn't. I guess they still have some stuff to do with the planning board or whatever. So basically, our water, sewer, and drainage committee meeting consisted of the conversation about the water plant filtration system, and we do need a new tank up in the back. And if we go with this new filtration system, which they had tested last summer for a while, it's going to decrease the backflush by 25 to 30%, which will increase the capacity of the sewer treatment plant. So most of the people that are saying we're at capacity are incorrect. We still have a ways to go before we're at capacity, and if we do this filtration change, it'll give us quite a bit more capacity all the way around. That was about it.
Len, thank you very much. I jumped over Claire on planning board.
Yep. So there's 11 items on the agenda for tomorrow. The meeting's at 5:30, right? Okay. No, 5:30 tomorrow, Scott. Even I know the time.
We'll wake them up. We'll wake them up.
So there's 3 lot line revisions, so that's pretty simple. It's 2 subdivisions, again, pretty straightforward. Stewart's received variances from the Zoning Board of Appeals for sign height and area covered, so back to the planning board to continue to review. The town board will shortly direct CPL to perform a map plan and a report for the water sewer extension, anticipating extending the districts to include the property within the districts. The Cuisine Machine site plan for food trucks on 9W, the restaurant use, and they will have takeout only. 180 South Street site plan, they're hoping to construct a 30,600 square feet addition on the rear of the building to reconfigure the loading dock areas. They are also before the ZBA for the variances. Finelli, special use permit for accessory apartment. This is the applicant from Gaverty Road. ZPA granted multiple relief requests. Now the planning board actually waiting for additional information from the applicant, so unclear whether they will attend the meeting or not. All space, 2 public hearings, all space storage on 299, additional storage buildings, the villages, and the Hudson Valley Assisted Living Facility. That's what's on for tomorrow.
Claire, thank you very much.
Yep.
Michael, ZBA?
The public hearing on Stewart's Ice Cream at the corner of 9W and Chapel Hill Road. They were applying for an area variance. Originally, they were asking for 40% more coverage, and I guess it was agreed upon that they only received 19% coverage. So
Additional.
additional, yeah. So that's it. That's all I got.
Michael, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to old business. I'll speak briefly. We spoke with Sean over the last week and a half. Sean's having some ongoing discussions with Leibold. Hopefully by our next meeting, we start to come to some resolve or bring some proposal to the board. Is there any other old business to come before the board tonight? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to new business. We're pleased tonight to have Fawn Tantillo with us. Fawn and our group are going to speak to us about reapportionment. Fawn, would you please?
Well, I'm just the clerk for the Commission on Reapportionment.
That's okay.
Introduce our Commissioner, Andy Mock.
Andy, we're pleased to have you here this evening. The floor is yours. Thank you, Fern.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having me tonight. I am one of 7 commission members on the Citizens Commission on Reapportionment for the Ulster County Legislature. And our task is to redraw the voting districts for your Ulster County legislators, which we have been waiting to do based on census data, which was just recently released. I'm not sure if you've heard about that in the news. They are preparing that data for our use now, and so we'll begin the process of that shortly, but I wanted to come. We're going to each town meeting in the county just to introduce ourselves, talk a little bit about the commission, and see if there are any questions. So our purpose tonight is mainly to receive input from you all here. As I mentioned, there are 7 commissioners who have been appointed to the commission. There were 4 that were initially appointed by the majority leader and the minority leader, and then we 4 appointed the remaining 3 to further remove the influence of politics in our work. This is a process that takes place every 10 years after the census is completed. And so 10 years ago when they did this, they went from 33 or 32? 33 multi-member districts to 23 single-member districts, which was a huge effort. Luckily, this time around, we're keeping the number of districts the same. We're just basically modifying the boundaries to account for any differences in population since the last census. The district that you all are in, the town of Lloyd is in districts 9 and 10. District 9 includes parts of Plattekill, and District 10 includes parts of Marlborough. So this is the map, which you can also see on our website. And so basically, you'll see it's unlikely that the districts will change massively, but you'll see adjustments based on changes in population from town to town. The main thing that we're required to stick to is that all districts should be more or less even. We have a variance of plus or minus 5% in terms of population numbers per each district, which is why you'll see like District 22 with Shandaken, Denning, and Hardenberg is enormous here in the corner because the population is fairly spread out. So geographically, it's a very large district, but it contains the same number of people as the districts here. And then, of course, the other rule that we have to follow is to avoid gerrymandering at all costs. It's part of why being part of a citizens' independent redistricting commission is so important, because the legislators can't draw their own district lines to ensure their own partisan victory. Instead, we're just trying to keep the towns whole, trying to make sure the populations are the same, and we don't really have a partisan dog in that fight, so we're avoiding it in that way. With all of that said, are there any questions from any of you?
Quick one is, Andy, the districts are about how large in numbers? The plus or minus what, briefly?
They're plus or minus 5%.
About 7,600 per
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. Great. Do we have any other questions this evening for redistricting? Seeing none, thank you very much for being here this evening. It's very informative, it's new. I'm sure we'll start to see some innovations and progress going forward. Thank you again very much.
Thanks so much for having us. And just before I leave, I want to mention that we're really excited this year that we have partnered with a mapping software company so that as we do the work, you'll actually be able to see the maps we're creating. And in addition, you can make your own maps by going to our website and logging on. That's not quite available yet, but if you go onto the county website, you can find all that information.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fawn, thank you very much this evening. I'm sure we'll be hearing from you soon.
Oh, yeah. And there will be public hearings about these, districts before it.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's some seating up in the front, if you'd like to come up and sit down, so you stay socially distanced, please.
What's next?
Okay. Sean, you want to talk to us a little bit, bring us up to speed with the Scenic Hudson agreement?
Yes, the Scenic Hudson, we have a lease agreement with Scenic Hudson for them to access the properties they own up on Illinois Mountain through the Water District properties. The lease is actually expired, so we're looking to renew it. So we're just in discussions. And a representative of Scenic Hudson I talked to Fred about it, and they're planning on coming at the at the workshop meeting the first week of September. So I just want everybody to be aware that they're going to come. They'll be ready to answer any questions and discuss, renewing the lease agreement for their access.
Okay. Sean, thank you very much. Okay, moving on, privilege of the floor. Does anyone have something to bring before the town board tonight as privilege of the floor? Yes, Lynn. Yes, Mark.
I just wanted to follow up on two things. Could you give us an update on RUPCO and where we're at with that?
Yep, I did speak with, I had a message from Keith. They've got our application. He wants to either come down or have a meeting with me in the next week or so. They're running behind up there like everybody else because of COVID, and we'll keep everybody posted as that moves forward. As I said, we will move that along as fast as we can. They can.
Is the idea that he will bring a plan to you?
I didn't speak to him. I just got a message today. We went back and forth with kind of phone mail, and then when I was out this afternoon, he called and missed me. And then when I got back in, he was gone. So I'll keep you up to speed with that.
I do have a second question about a phone call you made to me concerning the ZBA being scheduled to appear before the town board, which you said that's.
I think one of as I thought about that, and I think I spoke to you about this, and I spoke to Sean. I think one way to handle that going forward is to go back and schedule our tri-board meetings, and at that meeting they can deliver us a written report or some kind of report, so that it does two things. It gives us that report every 3 months. As it's stated in the law, and it lets us go back to having our tri-board meetings, which we haven't had in over a year.
So you're saying that 4 times a year you will schedule that?
Yes.
So do you have a date yet for
I expect to do that in the next week.
the next week? Okay, because it's
But we're shooting for, so we're shooting for, since we're all here at a workshop already, the first Wednesday of the month, the town board's already here, that would be the most likely day to have the meeting on. I've got to reach out to the other boards.
Okay, I appreciate it, thanks.
Thank you. Yes. Would you come up to the microphone, and if you may? You got to put it about an inch from your mouth.
Okay. Is that slow enough?
Yes, it is.
Robert Party, 14 Drive. The reason I'm here tonight is we had an incident on Tina Drive requiring an ALS ambulance. It was called at 18:26, 6 o'clock, 6 hour, 6:26 at night. It arrived on scene 24 minutes later. Luckily, the neighbor turned out to be okay in the hospital, and she's doing fine. But my question is, and I've been talking to Councilman Ahmadiyya on this situation, why did it take 24 minutes for an ALS ambulance, who's supposed to be stationed in the Highland Fire District, to get to Tina Drive? We found out later that it came from the town of Poughkeepsie. So I've got a Freedom of Information request going forward to the county, requesting copies of the dispatch to find out if the ambulance in Highland was dispatched someplace, you know, like they could have been, where was the replacement and why did it take so long? That's why we got to find out what the conflict was. 24 minutes, if it had been as dangerous as we thought, she probably wouldn't have lived. But it turned out that she's going to be fine, but that's not the point. The point is, we pay, I believe, $200 and some thousand, correct? And the
What do we
current
pay?
contract
What's our
is how much?
ambulance contract?
236.
And they're asking for how much, an increase?
Forget about that. They didn't get that increase. We're finishing this contract at the same price that we paid the year before.
Okay, so we pay $200 and some thousand, and we had to wait 24 minutes. My question is why? And is there any penalty for them not showing up on time?
There is.
And has that been enforced, and has that been, have they been fined or however?
Okay, on
I'll let Lynn speak-
this
I'll let Lynn speak
particular
to this.
incident, it's too soon on this particular incident
Yes.
for anything to be there.
Yep.
They went to an overall average, all right? But that's definitely well over the average, so, but again, as we can't say, no, they haven't been fined at this point, or they haven't. Generally, they give us a list. We were late on this one, we were late on that one. So we haven't gotten that as of yet.
I'll include that in my foil. I'll mail it to you.
right.
Because the national standard is 8 minutes.
I think they're at 9:59 now.
Well, I just talked to a guy who is a national expert, and it said 8 minutes, but they want to say 9.5, fine. But the bottom line is, it was still almost 3 times the national.
Again, what the national average is and what our contract reads right now, might be two different things.
What's the contract currently read?
I believe it's 9:59.
Yeah, I think it's a little over 9, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, either way, it's still not acceptable. And I'll foil also previous records of where they've been held accountable for, like, say, the last year, so we know where we're standing. All right?
And to that, I can add, unlike last year, because of how things unfolded with this specific carrier, Len and I and the board, we will be going out to bid very early this year, soon, for next year's contract.
Right. Excuse me, I spoke to Peter, and I had told Peter, actually the fire chief, that I wanted him to give me a list of what the fire department is requesting. Now, over the last couple weeks, I've been a little screwed up, so I'm a little bit behind, but
You're fine.
I promise I'm on it. I talked to Peter Sunday, I believe, and he said one day this week we have to sit down and talk. So our negotiations are going to start there, and then we will put our list together of what we want before we go out to RFP. But it's going out to bid, and we definitely have at least 2 bidders.
Well, I used to be a fire commissioner, I understand that there's somewhat of a working relationship, but why would the fire district be telling us, the town, what the ambulance entity has to do? It's pretty set that the national standard, you say it's now 9.5, that's pretty basic. I don't understand why we're holding up things waiting for the fire district, which used to have skin in the game, so to speak, does not anymore, because they basically do not respond, as far as I know,
Oh,
to medical emergencies.
I understand that they don't respond at this present time, but I also do understand that if you want to ask, they're as close to an expert as I have that I can talk to. All right? That's where I stood. That's why I said I want you guys to tell me what you're looking for, and we will go forward from there. And that's what I'm waiting for right at this present time.
All right.
But I'm going to add to your whatever. There's supposed to be an ambulance on 299 from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. You said it was 6:18, so should have responded from
Like
there.
I said, it took 24 minutes for ALS, who's
Okay.
supposed to be there,
Right.
9.5 minutes, it's twice, almost three
9:59.
times.
It's almost 10.
So, you know,
Yeah, that's
the
not-
bottom line is that if she had died and there was an ensuing lawsuit, then people would be answering the questions.
Thank God she didn't,
That's right.
okay? But listen, I respect your
Oh,
concern.
no
And
problem with you, Lenny. No problem.
this is exactly what I want everybody to hear, so they don't just think it's me out there beating on the bushes and what have you. Last year, when they came back and they wanted to raise us $105,000, I said, it's not going to happen. Our budget was done. That's all there was to it. What can we do for this? So that's why the response time did go up a little bit. They made an ALS and a BLS ambulance, because we have two. We have one ambulance from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. That's the one that's parked on 299. So those were some of the concessions that we made to get that price that we had in the budget and still have ambulance service.
Yes.
So, you know, again, that will be corrected before the next contract.
And that contract's for 2021? or
Correct,
27?
January 1st.
It start January 1st, yes.
All right. Okay, no. So,
Yes, in the back, please. Can you come up and give
Bob,
us
are you
your-
going to concede your time?
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
You must touch your mouth, touch your mask with it, so we can hear.
Do what?
You must have to touch your mask to the microphone. That's, okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, would you state your name and your address, please, for the record?
Yes, Brandy Ashone, 24 Tina Drive. I'm Bob's neighbor. And I was at the incident on Friday evening, and my question is, how do we prevent this from happening again? 24 minutes, how do we prevent that?
I understand that. I can't, we have to put some pressure on him to, he's supposed to back up the ambulance when one leaves, all right? The most I can do is make a phone call, you know, which I promise I will do tomorrow morning.
I guess I'm asking what the request is going to be in that phone call. Are you looking for accountability for the past and fining, or are you going to be asking if they're going to be working towards their contract of being on 299 until 7 p.m. or whatever it is that they didn't do? Are they going to be accountable for that? And how will we prevent that in the future? Are they going to hold true to their contract? 24 minutes was very alarming.
Yes, I understand that. We had an incident during a snowstorm on Pancake Hollow Road where they had to dispatch an ambulance from Kingston. So, I mean, those things, I guess, I'm not trying to defend anybody. Those things happen, but I promise I will have him on the telephone at 1 minute after 8 tomorrow morning.
Okay, and I recognize that they happen, certainly. If the ambulance here in town went on a call 1 minute before and they couldn't backfill it, obviously that's a reasonable excuse. I'm just wanting to make sure that we don't have this happen again, considering the contract says that they're supposed to be here.
Correct. Now, Bob
Thank you.
said he foiled that, so he will get the information on how long that other ambulance had been out before they tried to back one up.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Yes, please state your name and your address for the record, please.
Hi, thank you. My name is Gregory Madalena, 19 Tina Drive. I'm Brandy and Bob's neighbor. I've had the unfortunate experience in Highland of being first on site, BLS trained for healthcare providers in 3 instances. 2 of those 3 instances, the turnaround time was just as it was with our unfortunate incident on Tina Drive. And, you know, I just want everybody to realize that this can happen to any of us. Any of us can have a cardiovascular accident or anything at any point. So this very significantly affects us. And there's nothing worse than that feeling. I can't say what happened in the 2 other incidents because they were taken away by the ambulance and I never heard anything. Thankfully, on our road, everything worked out okay. But I can tell you, there is absolutely no worse feeling than providing life support for people and looking at the clock and looking at the clock and looking at the clock. That is definitely not supposed to be how it happens, and it's very dangerous. My question is that I appreciate your push to hold for accountability, but what I would ask that we demand in our contract is a contingency plan for what happens when that ambulance is occupied. Because that instance, our most recent instance, I know that's what happened. Apparently they were in Poughkeepsie. The other instance was a holiday weekend. I believe it was Labor Day. So really, when you have that conversation, please, I'm begging you, hold them accountable to the backup plan, because 9 minutes, fine, but again, any of us could be dead, and that's the bottom line.
Just let me say this. I know how you feel from the bottom of my heart. All right? I called an ambulance for my wife 2 weeks ago. Took them 7 minutes to get there. It seemed like an eternity.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 25,
Right.
holding the pulse, checking the breath, just, it's not where we should put any of our community members, a position we should put any of them in. And, I worry for the worst, and that's what it is. And, so as you're negotiating that contract, as I said, this is the last thing I have to say because I don't want to keep repeating myself. Please ask about the contingency plan. What happens when you guys are busy? Because it can't be, well, we'll get to you when we get to you. That's just not okay.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you very much,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for your input tonight. The town board and the town needs to hear that from our citizens. Is there anybody else that would like to speak this evening? I privilege the floor. Okay, seeing none, we're going to move to motions and resolutions. Wendy, would you start with A?
Resolution to accept the resignation of part-time dispatcher Donald Yanta, effective 8/11/21.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. B?
Resolution to accept the resignation of Officer Nicholas Parodies, effective 8/23/21.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second? I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. C?
Resolution to accept the resignation of dispatcher Cole Nicholas, effective 8/18/21.
Have a motion?
Motion.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. D?
Am I pronouncing your last name right?
Yes.
Resolution to hire Cole Nicholas as part-time police officer, effective 8/18/21, at a rate of $21.20 per hour at the recommendation of Chief James Janso.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
Welcome.
Yes.
Congratulations to your new position.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. Good luck. Nice suit.
That's right, dress for success.
You can't see me smiling, so. E?
Motion to grant special permission to the Highland and DeSopas Business Associations to serve wine and beer at the Highland Landing Park under the pavilion on Monday, August 23rd at 6 p.m. for a period of 2 hours for their business mixer as per Town Code Chapter 32, Section 32-4.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. F?
Resolution to authorize the purchase of Municity 5 Upgrade, the town's parcel tracking software for properties, zoning, planning, and enforcement in the amount of $39,775, budget supported, which includes installation, training, and support, and authorizes the supervisor to sign the contract with ICC Community Development Solutions, formerly General Code.
Is there a motion?
That's a
Is there-
great thing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried. G?
Resolution to make the following correction to a budget amendment from 7/21/21, Resolution F.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sean, did you want to, there was something else you wanted to talk about? Okay. We're at the end of our meeting tonight. I'd like a motion to call, to bring the meeting to adjourn.
Motion.
So motion is second. All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming. And congratulations.